Welcome to another edition of Brownsville Matters. I'm your host, Dr. W.F. Strong, and I have with me in the studio today, in the house, as they say, Sergio Tamez of Aisle 9 Collectibles. Welcome, Sergio.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming. This is a fascinating area to me because I know so little about it. And so I'm going to learn in our conversation today about, this area that I know very little about. Now, I've done some collectibles in my life in the form of rare books. I'll collect books. I'm not incredibly serious about it because, for one thing, they're expensive. Rare books, truly rare first edition copies of things. They're sometimes $5,000. So, but more in the range of $400 or $500. But so anyway, it's an expensive hobby if I really want to get serious. But you do a wide range of collectibles. What is kind of the number one area of collectibles that you specialize in, or is there such a thing?
Well, when someone walks into my shop and asks me, "Do you all carry Marvel figures?" I say, "Yes, sir, right over here." I have a whole section of Marvel figures because of the movies that come out. Mm-hmm. I sell the certain figures that they have for that particular person playing that part. Uh-huh. And some people, well, do you have a horror section of, Nightmare Before Christmas and Freddy Krueger, scary films? I'm like, you know what? Step right up over here. We have a whole section of that area. So they're there.
So you have figures for every genre of film? Basically,
yes, we do.
But horror is more common?
Yes, horror films. You have a lot of horror fans out there.
Yeah, there are a lot of that.
So when Halloween comes around, I have them candy all over the store. I kind of spoil them. Have at it. Have fun.
Oh, good idea.
Go ahead and get lost in your memory lane here at Aisle 9 Collectibles.
I was reading recently something, you just made me think of this, about some research done on one of those social media platforms, dating platforms, and the guy who was doing research on it, he said that OkCupid, it's the name of the platform, and he said that one of the kind of litmus test questions that would determine whether people would be good together or not was this: do you like scary movies? If they say yes, then they have a good chance of getting along, regardless of all other factors. That was
wow.
And if they said no, I don't like scary movies, and the other one said yes, well, bad combo. Not likely to get along.
Strike one.
Yeah. So, but that would be a big area. Freddy Krueger. So you have the figurines that are like 6 feet. Not 6 feet. 6 inches, or how big are they?
6 inches up to up to the 12-inch ones. We carry statues of Jason as well. Annabelle, everyone's favorite. Mm-hmm. I have Raggedy Ann's on the sofa as you walk in. People see that, walk the other way.
How about Chucky?
Oh, Chucky's very popular. Child's Play. Oh, yes.
And are people afraid to take Chucky home?
Well, it's funny because the parent will be like, "I'm buying that Chucky if you don't behave." I see that kid's eyes just kind of like just get all big, and he's
put
like,
that in
"Okay,
your
mommy,
room.
no, mommy, no, I'll get better grades," and so on and so forth. I just thought it was hilarious.
Bye.
And the funny thing is, they'll come back the next day and buy it and take it home. So good luck, kid.
What about the old classic, like Dracula, Frankenstein?
Yeah, I have some Universal Monsters from the 60s model kits there. We deal with like the vintage items as well. Creatures from the Black Lagoon, Bela Lugosi's Dracula, Wolfman. There's a very popular company called NECA. They do produce very, very detailed figures, 6-inch figures, mind you. And they come with a bunch of accessories inside the package. You can display it however you want. Some people even buy them to do stop-go animation. Believe it or not, yes.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so...
Does the average buyer want just one or two of these, or do most of the people buying them have a collection at home that they're adding to?
Oh, wow. Well, when they come into my shop, they're kind of, just overwhelmed by the ideas that they can come across. by buying a certain figure. For example, someone comes in, buys a Predator. Well, who do you need Predator to be partnered with? Dutch, Arnold Schwarzenegger figure. You know, so people start building scenes, and that's when the collection starts going, because you're like, well, I need different Predators. I need a different looking Dutch. I need, you know, some more machine guns, so on and so forth. So yeah, it builds from one, and it just blows up from there. They'll be visiting my shop maybe once a week. What did you get new? I got this. I'll take it.
Well, and you also probably have old lineages of collectibles, like you just mentioned Schwarzenegger, so I could see someone getting all the Schwarzenegger collectibles for all of his movies. This would be one line of collecting, as opposed to, you know, all the scary figures is a different line.
True.
I was over at a collectible store in Edinburgh, I believe it was, and I just happened to be walking by, and I wanted a poster that was in the window. And inside they had some Freddy Krueger, but huge, you know, like I would say maybe 3 feet tall, really, really big. There were a whole bunch of them, and I was asking about them, and the lady working there said, "Oh no, that's the owner's. That's his. He displays them, but he doesn't sell them." Do you have anything like that? You display, but you don't sell?
Everything's for sale in my shop. Me personally, if it's not for sale, why have it there? I mean, that's a rule of thumb, in my opinion. To each his own. But to answer that question, I would have to have a price tag on everything in the store, minus my cases. Can't sell my cases.
Can't sell your cases. Well, but do you have anything that you're kind of attached to? It's hard for you to let it go?
Ooh.
Or you say, you have to pay me a lot to have that.
Yeah, I've sold items in the past to where I kind of regret it, but then I look, well, the light's still on, you know? But yeah, I've seen some things and sold
like
some
what
items.
Did you regret?
Dragon Man in box. It was a Fantastic Four figure. I think loose, he was bringing at the time about 400. So in box back during that time was about 650. And I did sell it, and to this day I kind of regret it, because he's over A to a G now. But
you reminded me of my mother lived to be close to almost 102, and she had a Shirley Temple doll in a box from 1920 or something like that, you know, very long, long ago. And several people told me that's worth a lot of money. That you know, it's in good condition. It's in a box, and I think my niece inherited it, so I don't know where it is now. But are those worth a lot? Those
Shirley Temple dolls, tin composition. That's probably the one you're talking about, made out of a tin composition. Probably sleepy eyes. You lay it down, the eyes close.
Yeah.
Some of them had open mouth, closed mouth, even had little teeth. But yeah, Shirley Temple dolls with original clothing can command a premium. Probably made by Ideal at the time.
Yeah, I think so.
The marking is basically on the back of the head and on the back between the shoulder blades as well. But the condition is everything when it comes to
as always, like everything in this collectibles, condition.
Condition matters.
With how did you get the knowledge you have from actually doing it, or were you well informed from the time you were young because you liked this stuff when you were 5?
Well, funny thing is, my parents would take me to antique shops when I was 10, 11. What I would do, I would sit on the bench by the door, wait for them till they're done. I remember that. I did open.
So your dad was into collectibles?
Oh yes, before I was even born. Yes, you know.
What did he collect?
Pharmaceutical items. Yeah, pharmaceutical items.
Like
poison bottles, apothecary jars.
Really?
Old marble scales.
How interesting.
Even Civil War type pharmaceuticals that doctors would carry onto the field and render aid to the soldier there.
So the medicine bottles and the medical instruments from the time?
Correct, yes. Like he has a little wooden box. You open it up, you have your little saw blade, your little gauze. I mean, your foot was blown off. Time to cut it off right there on the field. And that's just the way it was back then.
And do you have that collection yourself now?
No. My parents are still alive. Thank God. They're in their early 80s. Thank God. And I've learned a lot from them. But
so your dad still has it?
Oh, yeah. He still collects. We still go to antique shops. But this started when...
But the big problem is with any collectible is space to to create your little personal museum.
Very true. Very true. Space, you're going to make space. If you really love the items you purchase, you will find space.
My father was a coin collector, and so naturally that didn't take so much space.
No. Put them in the sock drawer.
Yeah. They had books, these little books you could keep them in. He could put those on a bookshelf and take them down and show them whenever he wanted to show them to somebody.
Very true, very true.
That was a little, that was a good thing to get passionate about because it didn't require a great deal of space. But when I would look at those figurines for horror films, I say, wow, if you really wanted to show them, you're going to need a room.
A couple of showcases.
Yes, right.
Lighted showcases.
Yeah. Have you been to somebody's house where they had done this in a way that was impressive to you?
Well, at Aisle 9 Collectibles, we do buy collections from people who are ready to let go, number one. Or number two, they're moving into a smaller place.
I see.
They're keeping what they want, selling the rest. Or just moving on. Been there, done that type attitude, and they're going to invest in something else. So we come in and we do buy collections. And there's a lot of stuff here in Brownsville that has produced a lot of fine collectibles for my shop, and I'm truly blessed for them to come to me.
This is different from going to an estate sale. This is where someone has a collection and they get in touch with you and say, would you consider buying this collection? So they don't have to piece it out. You just come in and buy the whole thing.
Basically, yes. Yes. They'll be like, they'll give me a call. I'll go look, make an offer, and if it's good enough offer, they'll call me back.
I remember when my mom passed away, she had a bunch of old toys that my father had, and they dated back to about the 1920s. They were metal trucks and sort of things the kids play in the dirt with.
Right.
And there were maybe 8 of them. In pretty good shape. They've been in the attic, a little rust on them. But I sold them on eBay, and some of them got $100, $120.
Nice.
Did pretty well, except that eBay takes too big a chunk.
Yeah. Yes.
My goodness.
You got to pay the middleman.
I tell you. And do you do things on consignment?
I do. Sometimes, my cut is just 30%, on top of their asking price.
Right.
And I'll let them, try to sell it for 2 months. If not, we'll have to drop the price. And 9 out of 10 times they'll be like, no, well, I'll just keep it. Or I'll just take it up north because I'm heading that way. So on and so forth.
Okay, so we talked about the scary figures, and I looked at pictures of your shop. Aisle 9. And by the way, how did you come up with that name, Aisle 9?
Aisle 9 Collectibles. It started, I signed the contract on Price Road April 9th. I wanted to keep the A and the 9. So I was like, I can't call it April 9 Collectibles. Nobody will walk in. So I was walking in HEB buying some drinks and candy. And I was like, aisle 7, aisle 8. And I'm like, I look up, I see aisle 9. And I was like, aisle 9 Collectibles. That has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, it is. It does have a nice ring to it.
You kind of smirk with a little smile, aisle. You kind of smile a little bit. Number 1. Number 2, you're probably, what is aisle 9 Collectibles? I need to go check that place out. Because I have such a neutral, broad name to where curiosity would bring you.
Yeah.
And that's my main. That was why I named it that. Aisle 9 Collectibles is basically persons buying back their memories of a certain time in their life. For example, father and son come in. Look, son, I used to play these Game Boys, and he'll be like, well, what's that? It doesn't look like a Switch, Dad. Well, let me show you. And the child would be playing the Nintendo. And sure enough, well, I want to buy it, Dad. He wants to buy it. Why? Because Dad played with it. So there's a connection with collectibles. On a different note, some people want to buy collectibles because they enjoy it. They like to display their items accordingly. Believe it or not, I have people buy 2 items of the same item. Why? One open and one closed. you see, I'm like, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. But collectibles, basically, it's up to the person. Some people sell me their items because I want to buy something else. Can you give me store credit? Done deal. You know, I don't want Joe's anymore. I want to start with Transformers. And the question is, well, why would they want to change? Why not?
Yeah.
It pleases them.
Well, what's the difference between collecting and hoarding?
Hoarding, you can't walk in your house. You got to crawl. You need to streamline to get across from the living room to the dining room. That's what's hoarding. Now, collecting is you're very picky in what you do collect. Boxes have to be mint. Packages have to be flawless. If there's a flaw, they'll still take it because it's a hard to find figure.
Well, you know, all through society, we have great museums, and museums are collections. Right. And these are just museums in the home for whatever specialization you happen to be interested in. You are your own curator of your collection, and you decide how to display it, etc.
Correct.
At what point in mankind's history did we get a kind of activity that we call collecting?
Well,
that you are aware of?
I would think that it's, what they want to decide to collect would be happen to be, oh, well, I had this as a kid. I want to go find it, build the army from that particular genre. Like Mask, for instance, very short run cartoon.
Yeah.
People want to collect that because there's not much stuff out there with that, about that.
So they have something rare.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And it brings back memories. And that's the key. Collectibles equal memories, in my opinion.
And I like your point about fathers and mothers, for that matter, wanting to connect their children to their own nostalgia. And they can do that through Game Boy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when people when people walk into my store, they look around aimlessly, and I look at them like, yes, sir, welcome. Man, how long y'all been open? And they don't believe me. They don't believe me when I tell them. So to me, hey, you know what? That saying, location is very true, and I am experiencing it on a very, very positive note. So when they walk in, I'm like, oh, first time in the store, sir? Yeah. I'm like, well, what drew you to him? What drew you to our store? Well, I saw aisle 9. I was curious to what it was. One guy told me, well, I thought it was a billiards, aisle 9 billiards. I'm like, well, that's a curious, aisle 9 billiards. I kind of like the ring of that 9 ball. I like that, so you never know. But little side business in the future. Who knows?
What else do you have? You have comic books?
Oh, yes. We have graded comic books of key issues. We have Pokemon cards, vintage and new. We carry Nintendo systems. Very, very, very popular. From Game Boy Advance, Pokemon games, Emeralds, Ruby, Fire Red, Super Nintendo's GameCubes, very popular console, and Nintendo 64s. And for
what about the Xbox?
Xbox is kind of losing its interest. Again, personal opinion. So we have very limited Xbox games. Reissues, for example, on Transformers. When they reissue the lookalike, I call, from the 80s, you're basically paying by half the price of what the real G1 Transformer would cost. Now the reissue is just like the original, and you have to be careful when they're out of the box, because having a reissue and a G1 in front of you, you'd have to really do your inspections. Look for the dates, look for the writings, the stamps. There's a lot of things that fall into those categories. the shininess of the screws, big giveaway. When you see some screws that are kind of, get some patina per se on the screws, you'd have to know what the G1 screws would look like compared to the reissues. Now the reissues will probably, I don't think, hurt the value of it. Again, they're making money off the molds. They're making money off the molds basically. But to me, it kind of helps people stretching the variety of a collectible in a sense. Like me, I would like to have the original G1 1980 Starscream, and why not have a commemorative, of that Starscream? It's the same one, but in a different box. I have it loose, put it in front of it. Maybe find one boxed Starscream original from the 80s. Now that's going to be pretty pricey. Again, condition. Back to what we do sell, it's going to be G.I. Joes from the 60 fuzzy hairs, the 12-inch, to the 80s G.I. Joes. And Transformers, G1, we have G2, and we have commemorative Transformers as well.
And what about Barbie?
Barbie, I have some select Barbie pink label Barbies that are contemporary.
Did the movie affect that at all? Did
well,
you see it move the needle at all? Not a big market for Barbie or Ken?
During Christmas time, Barbie was a slow seller. I hate to say it, but Hello Kitty kind of blew away Barbie there.
How about Dallas Cowboys?
Dallas Cowboys what?
Collectibles.
Negative.
Nothing.
We got nothing Dallas Cowboys.
No football at all?
No, but we have select rookie cards from the last 2-3 years.
And baseball cards?
No. If we are looking for 60s and 70s baseball cards. Mickey Mantle, DiMaggio. We're looking for those type of cards, which are very, very hard to find.
What's the most valuable baseball card, or at least top 10?
Oh, my God. I don't have any at the moment. But the Mickey Mantle rookie card is with a PSA 7. You're looking at 4 digits.
Wow.
Maybe more.
What about Babe Ruth?
Oh, yeah, that I wish.
When did they start baseball cards?
Oh, well, they came in bubble gum packs back in the 20s.
In the 20s.
Yeah. Now they just got the bubble gum, threw away the card.
What if I still have one with the bubble gum?
I wouldn't taste it if I were you, but you can shine a black light to it, see what it entails.
But I mean, seriously, would it increase the value of it if
it was still sealed?
Sealed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so. Even high-end auction houses like Christie's in New York or Sotheby's, that would be the place for you to sell your item because they would get a world market for that.
Oh, yeah.
They would get everybody interested in that to drive that price.
But what has surprised even you in the collectibles market where you came across something and you were just kind of, wow, that is worth that much?
When I bought a collection from this person, it was 3 tubs, and I looked way at the bottom, and it was a sealed box of 1993 Marvel superhero cards, still in the box, still sealed. Like they had like 36 packs in there, I think. I was like, wow. So I looked it up, and I was just baffled. Like, are you kidding me? So, it was about a $200-300 box, So I basically paid for my whole 2-bin lot. So I was blessed there, thank God. It's, a roll of the dice, buying collectibles.
Well, where do you, if you're not buying it from individuals, I suppose there are conventions that you go to where you can buy and sell and trade with other store owners like yourself.
Oh, yes. Our online collectibles love to go to San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, I was there once.
Man.
By accident. I happened to be in San Diego.
Really?
And this is back 1995, something like that, and I was there for business. And I was walking down the street, and suddenly people are passing me dressed as Freddy Krueger and in costumes. And I'm saying, what? I thought there was maybe a play on or something.
Right.
And then the more I walked, I said, well, there couldn't be 100 people in a play. And then I kind of figured it out that someone told me, well, it's Comic-Con. And I somehow was kind of shocked that people were that serious about it.
Yeah, it's people really invest in, as we speak, probably making a type of costume that they're going to wear in July.
Oh man! Since then, I've become aware that
Yes, they take it. They
this
take it
is
serious.
a lifestyle.
Yes.
People live. I remember the Grateful Dead. How people would follow them around. It was their whole life was following the Grateful Dead. I think some people just kind of follow the Comic-Cons.
That's right.
But
That's
some
right.
can make money, right? They can
Yes.
make money posing for pictures and
True,
selling
but
stuff. And
yeah, once you're wearing a costume and it's a well-to-do costume, you will be stopped every 10 seconds for a picture. So for you to go shopping, if you want to, good luck. But we do, as an online collectibles shop, we do go to San Diego to purchase the limited figures that are only sold there, and we bring it down for the Valley.
yeah,
We've been doing this since 2018, and then COVID hit, and it was canceled for 2 years. So this last year I went in July 2023. I noticed there wasn't that many people. But
well, I'm sure that can't you get a lot of this online if you want to?
well, usually they're sold out by the certain company that puts out the limited edition piece. They're sold out quick. So me being hands-on, I'm real picky with the, again, condition of the box. It has to be mint. I try to share that with the consumer. Look, handpicked, it's ready for you. But I think this year coming up is going to be crazy. I think it's going to be like 100,000 people this time.
Oh my God!
They quoted 85,000 last year. So.
And it's every year in San Diego.
Correct. Yeah, that's a big for the local businesses. It's a big plus on their part. I mean, it brings a lot of revenue.
That's the biggest one in the country.
Correct. Yeah, I have their pin right here. 50 years.
I say Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Wow, 50 years.
They've been doing it for 50 years.
That's shocking to me that they've been doing that long, because I thought that we've always had the movies, but I always think that the true superhero movies started 30 years ago, where you had one after another. How many Spider-Man movies are there? Like 12.
Yeah, they're the Marvel superhero movies they're moving in the right direction. People are really getting excited for maybe a Secret Wars type film coming up, and later on, a couple years from now, Spider-Man. Everybody wants to see Venom fighting Spider-Man. That's the main thing. So that's leading up to that, in my opinion.
And this is great for your business.
Correct. If there was no movies, I probably wouldn't be in business.
So you need to go to Cinemark and set up in a booth right outside.
I would like to do that.
Right?
I would like to do that. That would, I haven't thought of that, but I haven't even asked them. But
well, we're connected. We can we know the people. We
sounds
can help
like a
you.
Plan.
We can help you set up over there.
That'd be a blessing.
And talk about your point of purchase display. That would be perfect to come out and say, here's your.
That would be cool. No doubt.
If a kid wanted to get into collecting and they don't have much money, what sort of thing could they collect that they could do on a kid's allowance, so to speak?
Well, the funny thing is about allowance, I do offer for the elementary kids for good grades. They bring me their progress report / report card, and I'll give them 4 points for A's, 3 points for B's, and it'll be store credit. So they can buy whatever they want in the store. A little incentive for them to keep on getting good grades. That's what online collectibles. Yeah, that's what online collectibles does.
Do you ever go to schools to talk about collectibles?
No, I haven't.
You'd be a big hit. I mean, you got all the right stuff to keep their attention.
That would be probably in the works in the future.
Good, especially combined with your offer for good grades.
True.
Of course, you may not want to do that for 1,000 kids.
Correct. You beat me to the punch there. I want to stay in business,
But for the ones who do come in, that's a very nice gesture.
Yes.
But again, what sort of things can that young one collect that's not going to break their bank?
Oh, Hot Wheels is always a big hit for us. I have a big old Hot Wheels logo above my door as you walk in. Hot Wheels logo on the window is like Coca-Cola on the side of a building. Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
So yes, they buy Hot Wheels. I have 4 for $8. I got some $2 ones. Pokemon cards 5 for $1. So they can leave with something, no doubt.
Where's your store?
We're located off of Price Road in the Bingo Big Lots Plaza.
Okay.
And Suite B. You can't miss the big old Owl 9 round logo, Owl 9 Collectibles.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming in and educating me.
Yes, sir. It's been a blast. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, sir.
Thanks for watching this BSPA video. Go ahead and hit like and subscribe if you like what you see. And if you really like what you see, go ahead and go to our website, brosoperformingarts.org, and smash the donate button. And then we'll really like you too.